does my business need a managed IT support service? It's the question that we get asked the most, and it's often the question that most businesses who are either growing or are relatively close to when they started, as they start to build people and complexity, that's when they really need to start asking the question of when they need external help. But what help do they need? Is it just adding on for the extra harder tasks, or is it help for the entire IT? So it really depends on how the business is currently running and who's doing the initial IT, whether it's full support or just setting up new hardware as and when it's required. Now, the main thing to think about is most businesses have got separate departments. So you might have an accounting department and a HR department. The thing is with IT, it's not a department, it's the core of a business. So you really need to make sure that whichever decision you make, it's for the good of the entire business. So we've broken it down into 6 signs that can be trigger points for whether you need to look at IT support services from an external provider. Number 1 is, are you feeling that there's a lack of expertise within the IT at the moment? Now, you could be using a smaller one-man band, and that's got limitations in terms of expertise. But if you're just doing it internally, then if it's yourself or another person, how limited are they? They might be really good at just setting up laptops and desktops, but you've got to think more around the overall cybersecurity of the business, because if you lose your data, the business could be affected. So number 2 is around security concerns. Are you worried that potentially if you had a big cyber attack, you'd lose data, or potentially your team couldn't work? If there's any doubt, then that's a really big sign that you need to seek professional external help. Number 3 is frequent downtime and reliability issues. If you're constantly having your team unable to work, then you really need to address this. The biggest frustration in any business, and for any business owner or leader, is recruitment. So you don't want to potentially lose good members of their team just because you're giving them technology that they're not able to perform at their very best. Number 4 is scalability needs. If you're a fast-growing business, you need to make sure that the technology is going to support that growth, not stunt it. So if you are growing rapidly, when we say rapidly, it could be just bringing on a person every couple of months. This is still making huge changes to the technology. So you need to make sure that the IT support is going to support and help that growth. Number 5 is cost control. If you are using internal people, you may not have the premium tools that an IT support company can have. An example could be that currently you may be paying a person X amount per hour to go around and do manual tasks like updating machines and checking that there's no viruses and antivirus scans. This is a task that will be costing you a lot more if you're using a person to do it. Whereas a professional managed support company, they will have tools in place that can do these tasks not only better, but more frequently. And number 6 is focusing on the core business. Our main limited resource is time. Are you spending time faffing around with the IT and little bits here, networks not working, maybe staff that are unhappy, when you should be spending that time focusing on growing the business? So if you're experiencing any or all of these 6, then it's time that you had a chat with the experts. Syn-Star can help with any area of your company's technology. So please click now to have a chat with one of the team and to get a quote.